What's up, decoders? Good evening, good afternoon. Thanks for joining today. Let me get this set up real fast, and then we'll get started. I hope you guys are having a good Sunday, wherever you are. I'm here in Germany. Only got a month left here in Germany before I have to start leaving again, which sucks. But yeah, so hopefully you guys are doing well wherever you guys are in the United States. Let's see who's in the chat. Can you guys give me that thumbs up in the chat if the audio is good? Looks like we've got JJ Recon, we got Scott Simmons, hello, Juan Francis 6.0. I guess you're on 6 different channels now, huh, bud? Well, hello to you. Hello, Little Red Robber Hood. That's a funny name. Hello. Coffee Girl, hello to you. And Betty, hello, how are you doing? Hello to 33rd Degree Free Memeson. You guys got some good names tonight. 33rd Degree Free Memeson. Free Memeson. That's a tongue twister. Yeah, so hope you guys are well. I'm having a bit of a laugh, I know, but yeah, it's a good day here, and we're going to get into a presentation I kind of stumbled on last night. Actually, I can thank my girlfriend for this one. She mentioned this movie. Remember, well, the phrase in this movie that's very famous, right? Remember the 5th of November, and this V for Vendetta. So she reminded me of this, and then I started looking into it, and I started realizing, well, this I already knew it was connected to the election this year because Guy Fawkes Day is what this movie or this event is really about. Guy Fawkes Day. And Fox, I don't know how you actually say that, but basically we're going to dive into this movie. We're going to dive into what I think the symbolism is going to be and what the election might look like, considering that right now Biden is looking like he might get replaced, which I've been talking about that for 3 years now, but I thought he might croak, but it seems like he might just get replaced. So I guess we'll see what happens. Hello, David Roden. Hello, Be Happy, Meg. Hello, how are you? And like I said, thanks you guys again for joining. Please hit the like buttons if you're just getting in. We'll give another minute, let some people join, and then we'll get right into it. And I'm trying a bit of a, let me know what you guys think let me know what you guys think in the chat. Do you guys like how I've been doing my thumbnails for a while now? Or do you like these type of thumbnails, like more creative thumbnails? Let me know what you guys think in the chat so I can better. My thumbnails are important, right? So I always want to make sure I'm getting better at making thumbnails. So let me know what you guys think in the chat. Some chat participation. Do you think the thumbnails I've been doing are better? Or do you think something more on the lines of what I've got on the screen right now? Just let me know what you guys think. Yeah, let's see. I'm just trying to wait for a little bit more people to join in. We got 51. Thank you, Betty. Appreciate that. Yeah, I'm trying to get better at creating thumbnails. This is how you bring more people to the work. So I'm trying to expand my creativity here. Well, thank you guys for the input. It seems like everyone likes this one. The problem is you can't always do these type of things. It depends on what the subject is. So I'll have to see what I can do. But thank you, Joni. Thank you, Ethereal Expressions. Thank you, Blue Skies Mom. So anyway, I don't want to talk Babylon too long here. I want the people in the replay to be able to watch. Please hit the like buttons once again if you're just getting in. We're going to go ahead and jump right into this decode. So let's go. So first of all, I just want to talk about the election coming up. It's the big event, on the horizon. Right after the Olympics is the first big thing coming up, but then you have the election, right? And we just had the debate. So all of you guys are caught up on the debate, right? Biden, the robot Biden, or they're acting like he has dementia, so he can't speak. And Trump just like obviously obliterated him because Trump actually is in the right mind. And so I'm wondering what's going to happen. Is Kamala Harris going to replace Biden to run against Trump, which I think is very likely. But I'm going to show you in this decode why it looks like it's going to be a woman versus a man to me. It looks like that based off of what I'm showing here. Okay. So anyways, the 2024 election is on November 5th, which can be written 11/5, like the number 115. Okay. And so the 115, right? This is what I want to start with. And the reason I want to start with the 115 is because the word Lucifer equals 115, okay? And I'm going to read this real fast. The common meaning for Lucifer in the English is as his name as the devil in Christian theology. It appeared in the King James version of the Bible in Isaiah, and before that in the Vulgate, not as the name of the devil, but as the Latin word Lucifer, meaning morning star or the planet Venus. So you guys know I've been talking a lot about Venus, and this fits perfectly in with Venus. I'm going to show you how this is all about Venus, how it's all about Lucifer, which is Venus. I mean, a lot of people will argue this. Some people will say Lucifer is something different, but based off of the information they give us, the most common perception of Lucifer is Venus, okay? My girlfriend's in the chat. Much love. Love you, babe. And I see KJ Malone also in the chat. Hope you're doing well, bro. KJ Malone, you're always dropping some crazy finds. I might even talk about what you shared with me earlier. Might even get to talking about that a bit in this decode. But yeah, Lucifer 115, right? So the election on 115, okay? And it's all about Venus, the morning star, okay? And this is the correlation they make here on Wikipedia. This is not me making it up. This is exactly what they tell you. Lucifer, meaning the morning star or associated with the planet Venus or the light bringer, okay? And in the Hebrew translation, the word is shining one. And this is why Venus is the brightest planet in the sky, right? At certain times, not all the time, but it's at in the evening and in the morning, it can be the brightest in the sky, okay? So with that in mind, let's explore the word Lucifer a little bit more. Lucifer means light bringer, which is the name of the planet Venus, though it is often personified as a male figure, okay? So here you go again with the male-female thing, okay? And I'm going to talk a little bit about that at the end and how the planet Venus is normally associated with a female. However, in this instance, it is associated with a male figure holding a torch, okay? The Greek name for this planet was variously Phosphorus, also meaning light bringer, or dawn bringer, kind of like dawn. Lucifer was said to be the fabled son of Aurora and Cephalus and father of Six, how do you say that? He was often in poetry heralding the dawn, okay? But what I want to really point out here is that Lucifer equals Venus equals phosphorus, the element phosphorus, okay? Now notice that phosphorus equals Lucifer in the same cipher, 115, just like the election is on 115. What's up, Joseph Aquaviva? Nice to see you here, bro. Hope you're doing good. Much love. But yeah, Lucifer equals 115, phosphorus 115, okay? The light bringer. Now, Guy Fawkes Day is the election this year, okay? Guy Fawkes Day is to commemorate Guy Fawkes trying to blow up British Parliament, okay? And again, this is about explosive, okay? Explosions. This whole day is about explosions, guys, and fireworks, okay? And bombs and explosives and terrorism. And so the election that is being on this day is kind of ominous, right? Because it's on a day that's all about terrorism, explosions, all that kind of stuff, the election being on that day is very interesting. And again, I just put the 115s here to remind you guys of the phosphorus Lucifer connection. Okay. Now, one more time, I want to make the association between fireworks and phosphorus. Remember, Venus, Lucifer, phosphorus, all associated. And phosphorus, if you read about it, phosphorus spontaneously ignites on contact with air. So phosphorus is an element that ignites or explodes when it comes in contact with air, right? Which kind of reminds me of fireworks. Fireworks look like they explode in midair, right? And this whole thing, this whole election day is on Guy Fawkes Day, which is all about fireworks and explosions. So we have this theme over and over again of explosions and phosphorus. And I think it's very important to note that phosphorus is the 15th element on the periodic table also, and the 15 is a very interesting number when it comes to Satan as well. But we're not going to talk about that, but I think there's more to discover here with the element phosphorus, okay? But again, this is a simple connection. I'm not making big jumps here. I'm just showing you the basics, right? But now I'm going to get into why I think this is all about Venus, the morning star, Lucifer, okay? So let's look into this. Again, Guy Fawkes Day is on the 5th of November. The election is on the 5th of November. And if you type in the phrase 5th of November, it equals 148, okay? So this is the big number right now. What are the chances of that, guys? Guy Fawkes Day is on the 5th of November, and Guy Fawkes Day equals 148. 5th of November equals 148, okay? And again, right here, I showed you Lucifer means morning star or planet Venus. So what are the chances that all of these things equal 148, okay? Guy Fawkes Day equals 148. Morning star, 148. Planet Venus, 148. That's exactly what they say here. Lucifer represents the morning star, planet Venus, both equal 148. Just like the day of the election, the 5th of November. Okay, so you cannot tell me that this is not, this is pretty clear. I think this slide should put it all together for you, because what are the chances of that? First of all, the fact that they put Guy Fawkes Day on the 5th of November and it equals the 5th of November. And whenever you hear them saying the phrase, they always say 5th of November. That's what they say. They don't say November 5th. They say 5th of November. So they want to get that in your head, saying it like that, okay? And this 148, as Joseph is pointing out in the chat, is huge with Donald Trump. I'm going to get into that in just a minute. But again, I've been talking about Venus. I told you how the whole thing with Donald Sutherland's death was all about Venus, the Venus rose. And again, this is all about Venus, guys. Even the election day is super tied to Venus, the morning star, Lucifer, whatever you want to call it. That's what it's tied to, okay? And how about this? Just one more connection with the 148 and how the election is tied to Venus. So Veneralia, which is the ancient Roman festival to celebrate Venus and to celebrate Venus Verticordia, which means Venus, changer of hearts. You see that right there, guys? This Veneralia is to celebrate Venus, the changer of hearts. This happens on April 1st, okay? And from the election to the Veneralia next year, okay, to Veneralia next year is exactly 148 days, guys. There's your number again. And look at that, changer of hearts. Venus Venticordia means changer of hearts equals 148. So there you go. Once again, 5th of November, Guy Fawkes Day, morning star, planet Venus, all 148. Venus, changer of hearts, 148. And from the election, from the 5th of November, which equals 148, to Veneralia is 148 days. Okay? How perfect is that? And that will be from the election this year to next year's Veneralia holiday, from celebrating Venus. Okay? Now, I told you this is all about Trump because all the 148s, right? Well, look at this. The election is on Guy Fawkes Day, right? And Guy Fawkes Day equals Donald J. Trump in 3 out of 4 ciphers. And in fact, Guy Fawkes Day is also known as Guy Fawkes Night, which also equals 176. So look at this. Guy Fawkes Night, 176. Donald J. Trump, 176. Guy Fawkes Day, 176. But yeah, that's a match in 3 out of 4 ciphers, guys. What a coincidence, right? And I just showed you how the 148 is all tied to Venus, Lucifer, the Morning Star, and Guy Fawkes Day. And Donald J. Trump also equals 148. Mar-a-Lago, as Joseph is pointing out. Remember the Mar-a-Lago raid on Trump? Mar-a-Lago equals 148. Trump's book, The Art of the Deal, equals 148. So this is a huge number for him. But his name, Donald J. Trump, equals Guy Fawkes Day in 3 out of 4 ciphers. Okay. So the election is on that day. How crazy is that? And so we're going to go talk more about this 176 because Guy Fawkes Night equals 176, Guy Fawkes Day 176, Donald J. Trump 176. And so there's obviously something with this number as well. And so look at this, guys. I mean, this is undeniable. Please give me a thumbs up in the chat if you guys. I've only got 45 thumbs up, but I think this information is pretty undeniable. Look at this. Remember the 5th of November, right? That's the famous saying from Guy Fawkes Day and from the V for Vendetta movie, okay? So what's the chances that remember the 5th of November, if you type it out, equals 176? And Guy Fawkes was also known as Guido Fawkes, right? Guido Fawkes, right? And Guido Fawkes equals 176, like Guy Fawkes Day, like Donald J. Trump, all 176. And remember the 5th of November equals 176. And V for Vendetta. So I've been talking to you guys recently about the Aleister Crowley English Kabbalah cipher, okay? And what's the chances that the movie that's made about Guy Fawkes Day, V for Vendetta, equals 176? Okay, so there you go, guys. It's all connected. You got the 148s, which I showed you here, connecting to Lucifer, the Morning Star, Guy Fawkes Day, Donald Trump. Okay, then you got the 176s, all connected to Donald Trump, all connected to Venus, V for Vendetta, Guy Fawkes Day, all of it. Okay. And again, just understand that, I mean, I just don't see how Trump could not be a part of this election now. I mean, some people are probably thinking that Trump won't even make it there. I mean, it's possible that he doesn't make it to the election. Maybe something happens to him. But to me, it seems that he's tied to this election, right? That's a good point. Visionary Vet, thank you. The Roman numeral 5 is V, right? There you go. The 5th, right? V in Roman numerals is 5, like it's the 5th of November. And this connects to Venus. I'm going to show you again how it connects to Venus, okay? So let's just do a little bit of word interpretation here, guys. Not only does Guy Fawkes Day connect to Venus in the gematria, but let's just look at it simply. Let's just look at it very simply and say, what is the main letter associated with this movie that's connected to Guy Fawkes Day, which is all about November 5th? And it's the letter V. V for Vendetta. In fact, the main character, the main character is V, right? And much love to you, Pat Murphy. Much love. I don't care what you say about me. I still love you. So I don't care. Anyways, V is the main character in the movie, right? And look at this. V for Ven, like V-E-N, like Venus. V for Vendetta. There you go. You got this Venus connection. I think it's pretty clear. V for Venus, right? And I just don't think you can get any more clear than that. I really don't think, because Venus is the only planet that starts with a V. It's really the only god that starts with a V that I can think of. So there you go. And on top of that, Venus is the planet or the god of love, which connects to Valentine's Day, which connects to roses, which connects to red because roses are normally red. So let's just bring all this together here. So you've got V for Vendetta, which is all about the red, right? They're always showing the red, okay? This movie came out 18 years ago. So this year is the 18th year since this V for Vendetta movie came out, okay? And Venus equals 18. So Venus is the planet of love. And what are the chances that Venus equals love in 2 out of the 4 cipher? Right? So Venus and love are a perfect match in 2 ciphers, and Venus is the planet of love. And Venus is associated with roses and red roses, which red equals 18 in the same cipher as Venus, in the same cipher as love. And again, this movie came out 18 years ago to this election, right? And again, just to remind the audience, this movie came out 15 years ago or 18 years ago, and this is about November 5th, right? Guy Fawkes Day, and the election this year is on November 5th, okay? And what are the chances that this year's election, okay, 2024 election, November 5th, 2024, is exactly 419 years after Guy Fawkes tried to blow up British Parliament? Exactly 419 years. Do you guys remember what happened on 4/19 in Oklahoma City when they bombed the Oklahoma City building? Do you remember how Guy Fawkes was trying to bomb the British Parliament? And 419 years to the day later is the election. And 419 is the 81st prime number, and Venus equals 81. So not only does Venus connect because the movie V for Vendetta came out 18 years before the election, but Venus equals 18. And from actual Guy Fawkes Day, the actual day it happened, November 5th, 1605, to this election is 419 years exactly, the 81st prime. Venus, 81. Okay? And so what I'm saying is explosions. Are we going to get some sort of terrorism? What's going to happen around the election, right? Or what's going to happen at the Olympics? Because the Olympics is also very connected to this. Okay? France equals 115. I told you that the election is on 115, like 115, and France equals 115. Okay? Like Lucifer. So in the movie V for Vendetta, every time he takes out one of his victims, he leaves a rose. So if you guys didn't think it was already about Venus, now I'm going to make even more proof that this is about Venus, because in V for Vendetta, he's always leaving a red rose on his victims. Remember, Venus in the sky makes, with Earth, it makes a rose, okay? I've talked about this in my prior decodes. But Venus, Earth, it takes 8 Earth years, and Venus goes around the sun 13 times in 8 Earth years. So a 13:8 ratio, which is a 5-fold symmetry, because the Venus rose makes a 5-fold rose, which is the pentagram, which is 5. And we're talking about the day, November 5th, the 5th, right? 5. This is a Venus number too, right? Because Venus is associated with the pentagram and the rose, which is 5, and it has a 5-fold symmetry. And as someone just pointed out earlier, in Roman numerals, the letter V is the 5th, stands for 5, right? In Roman numerals. So you have all these different connections with Venus and the number 5, right? V is the 5th in Roman numerals. Venus has a 5-fold symmetry connected with the pentagram, and November 5th is the 5th day of November, okay? Now, the pentagram connected to Venus, connected to the Venus rose, of a satanic symbol connected to Lucifer, pentagram equals 148. Again, do you guys remember all the 148s I showed you earlier? Pentagram equals 148, like morning star, okay? Remember all the 148s I showed you in the beginning? 5th of November, 148. Guy Fawkes Day, which is on the 5th of November, equals 148. Morning Star, 148. Planet Venus, 148. Lucifer is associated with the morning star and planet Venus. And Lucifer could also be associated with the pentagram, which the pentagram equals 148. Okay? So this is no coincidence, guys. I'm telling you. No coincidence. And the 148, it just came up every time I typed in something. I got a 148. And now we got to talk about the other numbers associated with Venus, because Venus has a magic square, okay? The magic square of Venus is the numbers 1 through 49, okay? So basically there's 49 numbers in the magic square of Venus. That's important because, like I told you, this 49, right, is connected to the pentagram, which equals 49. Venus makes the pentagram. Pentagram equals 49. Venus is known as the love planet. Love planet equals 49. Guido Fawkes, which is also known as this guy, Guy Fawkes, Guido Fawkes equals 49. Guy Fawkes Day, 49. Donald J. Trump, 49. And considering that this all happens on the 5th, which again, I just tied the 5th back here. I just tied to how Venus is connected with the 5th on the 5th of November, right? Well, the word 5th equals 49. And Venus, again, makes a 5-fold symmetry, a pentagram, okay? And in the Venus magic square has 49 numbers. Again, Antichrist 49, Revelation 49. So this, even looking at the magic square, you get the connection with Venus, with the connection with the magic square of Venus, okay? So this is important. And this 49, and just notice that the important numbers associated with Venus are 7, 49, 175, and 175 is not so far off from 176. I did a whole bunch of slides. I'll go back so I can show you guys. 175 is only one number off from 176. I told you that Guy Fawkes Day, the election, is all connected to the number 176 and Donald Trump. But Venus has a connection with the 175, which is just one number before that. So I know it's not perfect, but it's close, right? So I think there is actually something to that, where if you're one number off, it can be very relevant, okay? So with that in mind, we need to talk about the movie, okay? We need to talk about the movie V for Vendetta. And the star of that movie is Hugo Wallace Weaving. And Hugo Wallace Weaving plays the character V, which could stand for Venus, right? And he plays the masked character V, right? In case you guys don't know this movie, this guy plays the masked character who calls himself V, right? V is connected to Venus. And Venus, one of the oldest examples of Venus is the Sumerian god Inanna, okay? And Inanna is also Ishtar, which you guys might recognize that goddess more, but Inanna is connected to Venus right here. In the Auric Uruk, she was worshipped in 3 forms: morning Inanna, evening Inanna, and princely Inanna. And she was reflecting the phases of her associated planet Venus. So again, Inanna is associated with Venus. And a lesser known story about Inanna, and I think this looks like Obama. Okay, so first of all, Joseph might like this one. Does anyone see the face here on this Inanna? I literally think that face looks like Obama. I don't know. I need to zoom in more to show you guys. But I feel like this face looks a lot like Obama. And even if you say the name Inanna, it sounds a bit like Obama. Inanna, Obama. So there might be something to that. Remember, Obama was also wearing the V. Remember when he was in the classroom? And remember when he was in the classroom dressed as Santa Claus, right? And in the classroom it said it's all about the V, right? And remember, this is all about the V because this is all about Venus, Lucifer. And you'll notice, let me see if I can find it here. Sorry, guys, I forget what I was going to show. Anyways, back on track. Obama was in the classroom. It was on the wall behind him. It said it's all about the V. And yeah, so what are the chances that this is actually connected to Venus, which is the V planet, right? But notice that the character that plays V in V for Vendetta is Hugo Wallace Weaving. And Inanna, this goddess, she is connected to the spider. See, look, lesser known aspect of Inanna's mythology. She created the spider, which was given the task of weaving. So Inanna is connected to a spider, creating the spider, which was all about weaving. And V in the movie is played by Weaving, Hugo Wallace Weaving, which equals 81, like Venus. You notice Venus equals 81 and Weaving equals 81, and how his full name, Hugo Wallace Weaving, 81. I don't think that's a coincidence. Again, this is one of the oldest. And just notice that she's the goddess of love, war, and fertility. So there's a lot of war. Have you guys ever heard the saying, all is fair in love and war? And Venus is connected, again, with not just love, because when you love something, you will go to war for it, right? Think about it. When there's love, Venus is the goddess of love, right? And when you love something enough, you will fight for it. So automatically, you're going to have this association with love and war. All is fair in love and war. And I just think it's interesting, right? So now let's look at the two characters who are part of this V for Vendetta movie. And this is pretty obvious, guys. Again, Election Day is on November 5th, which is Guy Fawkes Day, which is what this whole movie is about. And the two characters, the main characters from the movie, are born on either side of the midpoint. So the female star of the movie, Natalie Portman, is born 150 days before the election, okay, which is Guy Fawkes Day. And Hugo Weaving is born 150 days after November 5th. So on either side of the midpoint, you have 150 days on either side to each actor in the movie. And this is important because both of their names, not only are they directly connected with this November 5th because they play in the movie that's all about this date, their birthdays are right. November 5th is right in the middle of their birthdays. And not only that, they both equal 60, guys. Look at this. Natalie Portman equals 60. Hugo Weaving equals 60. This is going to be the 60th election. Donald Trump equals 60. Okay, so you have this huge web here connected with these two actors and this date and Donald Trump and the number 60. Okay. And if you go from their actual births, V in V for Vendetta and Evie in V for Vendetta, they're born 1,105 weeks apart. Well, that's the date, November 5th. You can write that date 1105, November 5th. And that's the day that they're all about in the movie. This movie is all about 1105. So 11/5, these two actors are born 1105 weeks apart. And it's perfect, guys. Not to mention their birthdays fall perfectly on either side of November 5th. It's just insane. It's obvious. And this is from their actual births, guys. 1105 weeks from his birth to her birth. And this is why I'm going to set up why I think it's possible that there's going to be a woman running against Trump. I think that this is the setup here, the man and the woman. Again, Venus represents normally the woman. But remember, in association with Romans, Venus was also associated with Lucifer, who was sometimes portrayed as a male holding a torch, okay? So Lucifer is kind of confusing because the original association with Venus would be a female. But because there's the association with Lucifer as a male, you have this mix-up. And this is why I think it is possible. People in the chat are saying it is possible that Big Mike, and what is the whole thing around Big Mike, Michelle Obama, right? Everyone knows she's a male. However, she's a female. So she would be the perfect candidate to run against Trump. Now, Kamala Harris is also in the same situation. I think everyone pretty much knows she's probably a male. She's a little less likely to be a male than Obama, but I think that the reality is this is all about there's going to be a woman involved in this. I feel like there has to be a woman involved in this election because it's all about Venus and it's all about this feminine energy, right? A Baphomet. Yeah, thank you, Joseph. Baphomet, like the mixture of both. And if you guys go back and you study and you learn about this goddess that I talked about back here, if you go learn about Inanna, the cults that worshipped Inanna would often be males, would often dress as females. So this, again, this connection with Venus and Inanna and this whole thing with November 5th connects to this gender mix-up, right? This mixing up of genders, this transgender stuff. And that's why I think that there's probably, it would not be surprised me if Michelle Obama is involved in this, okay? It might not happen, but it wouldn't surprise me if she's involved in this. Especially because now we know for sure that they're talking already, guys. We have proof now that they're talking about replacing Biden. And I've heard the 3 names come up as Kamala Harris, Michelle Obama, and Gavin Newsom. Those are the 3 people. So that's what I mean. But anyways, these 2 actors who star in the movie V for Vendetta, okay, they're born 21 years, 66 days apart. Now, this is interesting. This is interesting because in gematria, the word woman equals 66 and 21, like the amount of time they're born apart. The word Evie equals 21, and she plays the character Evie, okay, like Eve, the first woman. So she plays Evie, which equals 21, and she's the woman, the lead woman role in the movie, which equals 21, and lunar. And the moon is also involved in this because the moon is also associated with the feminine. So lunar equals woman, right? 66 and 21. And the word lady equals 66 and 21. And the reason I put the word dawn in here, because we're talking about the dawn, right? The rising sun, Lucifer, Venus, the light, the morning star, okay? So we're talking about this dawn of a lady becoming, a supposed lady becoming president, right? So you have all this connection with this Venus, with the moon. And I just found it interesting that they're born 21 years, 66 days apart, okay? Which is the gematria of woman and lady. And in the movie, she plays Evie. And here is a picture of the night sky, right? And this is going to kind of bring it all together. Why? Because in the night sky, facing west on the evening sky, you can see Venus, the bright morning, or normally the bright morning star, but in its different phases. See, Venus has 2 phases. It's the evening star, and it becomes the morning star, okay? But in this case, it's the evening star. See how bright it shines? Now, Mars is the god of war. The election this year is on a Tuesday, which is the day of Mars, okay? So this right here, in a way, represents the election day. You have the day of Mars, you have Venus, which I already tied this whole election to Venus, and then you have the moon, okay? And in V for Vendetta, the main woman character is Evie, and Evie is a 4 out of 4 cipher match to the moon, okay? Notice that Evie is also a 3 out of 4 cipher match to Rose, and this is all about the rose, right? The Venus rose. And in the movie V for Vendetta, every time he takes out his victims, he gives them a rose, okay? So representing the Venus, okay? So that's why I believe that this represents some sort of connection with what's going to come up on the election. Now, this is what's going to kind of bring it all together. So remember, the election is on Guy Fawkes Day. And in gematria, in Latin or Jewish gematria, Guy Fawkes Day equals 2024. What are the chances of that, guys? The election falls on 2024 on Guy Fawkes Day, and Guy Fawkes Day equals 2024. And I already showed you how from Guy Fawkes Day, the actual day, if I go back, hold on a second. From the actual Guy Fawkes Day, where he was trying to blow up British Parliament on November 5th, 1605, to the election this year is 419 years. 419 is the 81st prime, and Venus equals 81. Okay. So there's a lot to think about here. I've showed you guys a lot. I showed you guys how this is connected to Venus, how it's connected to Trump. Okay. So I'll just leave this up for a minute. I'm going to go to the chat and see what you guys are saying. I see Rebecca Carrington's in the chat. I see Visionary Vet. Thank you guys all for joining tonight. I really appreciate it. Guys, can you please hit the like buttons? I have 134 in the chat and only 86 likes. I would really appreciate that. Thank you. So let's see what you guys are saying. Gematria Decoder 33 says the Society of Jesus equals 2024. This is very connected to the Society of Jesus because, well, the Society of Jesus is very connected to all this. Don't ever leave them out. I never want to leave them out, right? But yeah, I just didn't put them in here. But again, Guy Fawkes Day connected to the Jesuits. Also, as he's saying, let's see if it's true. The Society. Oh, okay, never mind. The Society of Jesus equals 224. Yeah, I think that's what you're talking about. The Society of Jesus equals 224. We're in the year 224. But again, Guy Fawkes Day equals 2024. And just notice he's named Guy. Do you understand the symbolism here? His name is Guy, which is a reference to a man, a male. But the whole thing about the movie that they put out, V for Vendetta, was connected to the Venus, which is usually connected to the female. However, Venus is sometimes associated with the male. So there's this transgender agenda. So let me show you why this seems to be a transgender riddle, right? Because notice that the word guy equals 53, okay? And the word transgender equals 53, okay? So Guy equals 53, Guy Fawkes Day equals Guy equals 53, transgender 53, a huge number with transgender, okay? And then you have this confusion, right? The most common meaning of Lucifer is the name devil. And let me see if I can find where I had that. Hold on. Oh, in Roman folklore, Lucifer was the name of the planet Venus, which is the feminine, right? It was often personified as a male figure, though. So why? Why do you think that the planet Venus, which is associated with a female, feminine, was often portrayed as a male holding a torch? Now, this reminds me of the Olympics coming up, because the Paris Olympics have the female face disguised as a torch. Do you see this? This is Venus right here. I'm telling you. This is a torch or a flame disguised that what looks like a woman's face. Okay. Lucifer, Lucy, right? And Venus and Paris is very connected with the word lady, because the Eiffel Tower is called the Iron Lady. There's all kinds of lady symbolism connected with Paris, okay? And I told you that France equals Lucifer. So France equals 115. Lucifer equals 115, right? In the same cipher. And this is the day of the election. So, and then you have this lady connection. So let me just type in the word lady. Notice how the word lady equals 42, 15, 66, and 21. Like the word woman equals 66 and 21. Okay. So there's just a bunch of stuff to think about here in connection to the Olympics coming up and the election. Okay. Because again, this symbolism to me is connected to Venus, and it could also be connected to other things, but I think the more prominent thing here I see is Venus. And again, I just showed you this whole presentation how it's connected. But again, this connection here, and you know what I find funny? Not to get too crude here, but so notice that the symbol for phosphorus, which is Lucifer, is the P. Well, what happens if you remove, let me ask you guys in the chat, what happens if you remove the V from Venus and you replace it with a P? Let me see if you guys are catching on to what I'm laying down here. I don't really want to say these words. But what happens if you replace the V in Venus with a P and then say it to yourself, and what word do you have? And then remember, what is the first letter of the female reproductive organ? It starts with a V, right? V and P. So it's kind of like the switcheroo, right? If you replace the letter P or V with P, you get, you guys know what? So isn't it interesting that Venus is often displayed as a male? So it's like a transgender, okay? And that's probably why this transgender agenda is so big. And it's probably why it's very likely, it's probably why it's very likely that Michelle Obama could be involved in this. Or at least at the very least, she's going to be talked about. Because we all know, as Joseph said before, we all know Michelle Obama is actually probably Michael, right? See, look at this. Michelle Obama was speculated to replace Joe Biden. There you go. And she's 60 right now, too. Don't forget that. 60th presidential election. Let me just run some gematria, see what I can find here. I didn't run any of this before. Well, I am seeing something here. So look at this. Notice that Venus equals 54, Michelle Obama equals 54. Okay. But notice that Michelle Obama equals 99 in the same cipher as Venus equals 81. Well, 9 times 9 is 81. In fact, the number 81 is the ninth square. So 9 times 9 is 81. Michelle Obama, as I just showed you, equals 99. Now remember, the eclipse this year was on the 99th day of the year. So I'm just really wondering if this really is a riddle for Michelle Obama. And how is Kamala Harris going to factor in? Because you guys know, based off what I've showed in the past, Kamala Harris is going to be a part of this. But I'm wondering if it's going to be interesting to see how this plays out. It's going to be really interesting. So with that being said, let me go to the chat. Let me bring up some of your guys' comments. And we'll see what you guys are saying. So somebody in the chat, Gematria Decoder 33 says Venus or transgender 53 MO equals 53. Wow, that's good. Michelle Obama MO. That's a good one. Dialectic truth says hips don't lie. Yeah, that's true. Visionary Vet says Michelle Obama was present while Rotterdam burned down. I'm sure it's coded. Yeah, that's another good Tom A says that Trump is also a trans. They're probably all. I mean, I would not doubt that they're maybe not all transgender. Okay, because they love this. They love this theme of transgender. So I think that this basically what I'm saying, guys. This whole decode kind of boils down to what I think is coming for the election is some sort of transgender theme, whether it's Michelle Obama versus Trump, or whether it's there could be multiple different ways this could go, but it's going to be very interesting to see what they do with this. And then we'll look back on it and we'll say, that was what they were telling us the whole time. But X Trubel says that would be weird if Biden dies or resigns and Michelle is his vice president to Kamala Harris. Yeah, that would be that. I don't know if that's going to happen, but that would be weird. Yeah. Kamala Amala, right? Coffee Girl says being inverted is their thing. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, and KJ Malone, he says it's keeping their secret. Yeah, I've been talking a lot about secrets. It's a secret. Dr. Savage, much love, brother. Guys, make sure you go check out Dr. Savage. He's not getting enough attention, but he's doing amazing work. Dr. Savage, he says Big Mike Obama equals 88, like Trump. Huh? Let's see what KJ Malone is saying. Trump is the 44th person to be president. Guy Fawkes equals 44. Played by Hugo Weaving, born on 4/4. Landslide equals 44. So that's a great connection right there. You guys can read that. That's an amazing connection. Greg says, not transgender. That is inversion and bastardization by the adversary. Yeah, that's true. The daughters of men. Yeah, Nephilim mixing with the daughters of men. Yeah, it all ties together, guys. That makes complete sense what Greg's saying there. Gematria Decoder 33, Full House equals 78 tarot card. There's 78 tarot cards. Trump is 78 years old. And that, yeah, I get what you're saying there, like a full White House. Red Bull Vodka says double trans ticket. I'm probably going to get some sort of, they're probably not going to like what I'm talking about in this video. So we'll see what happens. Yeah, Melania. Yep. She's a man too. Yep, probably. I agree with you guys. I just like bringing up all you guys' comments so everyone can just read what everyone's thinking in the chat. So, apparently Bunyan says trans president equals 88. Okay, let's see. Let's look at that. I got to show you guys that if that's true. Whoa, look at that. Look at that, guys. 18 for trans. 18 like Venus. Same cipher. So Venus and trans, they both have that 81 or 18, sorry. That's interesting. But let's see what trans president equals. 88. Yeah. That's interesting. Yeah, X Trubel, he says the Celtics just won their 18th championship, right? Like Venus. So Celtics just got their 18th championship. Remember, it's been 18 years since the release of the movie V for Vendetta. Oh, yeah, I forgot, Joseph. The Celtics just won the 18th championship by 18 points, right? There you go. Oh, yeah, I forgot. The transhumanism, 53. In Chaldean. Is that what it is? So that connects to transgender, which also equals 53. It's a big number with that whole thing. Also, I guess I forgot to also even mention this, but today, guess what's happening in France today? I was just talking about the Paris Olympics in France, but today we're having the French elections. If I can spell. So, yeah, I guess I'm wondering what's going on with this. So, an early legislative election is expected to be held in France in 2 rounds, November 30th and November 7th, to elect the 577 members of the 17th National Assembly of the Fifth French Republic. The Fifth French Republic. So there's obviously going to be connections between the upcoming United States election and what's going on in France. Now, remember, Paris, France equals 56, right? Paris, France, 56. Society of Jesus, where they were founded, is Paris, France. Society of Jesus, 56 in the same cipher. And the election this year, the election on November 5th is on the day leaving 56 days in the year, okay? Also, I wanted to point out that the word fireworks, which is all about Guy Fawkes Day, equals 56. So there could be fireworks on the 56th day in the election. There could be like a drama that plays out. But Guy Fawkes Day is always associated with fireworks. So the 56 days left in the year. But anyway, Paris, France equals 56. We're having the election in Paris, France right now. And yeah, we're going to see what happens there. They're going to select 577 members for the Fifth French Republic. That was a number I was talking about a lot, the number 5. So remember the 5th of November, and now you have the Fifth French Republic. I guess it's been around a while. October 4th, 1958. So yeah, I wonder what that equals. The French Fifth Republic. Let's see what that equals. Oh, how's that 99? But the 108, I've been seeing that come up a lot. I've also been seeing the 189 come up a lot. But I'm not going to get into that here. These are numbers that have been coming up. But the 108 is kind of like Venus, and the same cipher equals 18, right? But the 108 is a very important number, too, in spiritual stuff, too, right? So, yeah, I don't know. Let's see what Fifth Republic equals. Yeah, I have to do more looking into it, but definitely this is going on right now. And then you have the election in the United States coming up. Let's see how many days. June 30th. Oh, it's 128 days. Okay, so there's this 128 code. You guys know this code, right? Remember the bridge collapse? Remember the Obama's movie, Leave the World Behind? All the 128s? If you guys have been following anybody in the truth community for any amount of time, you guys have heard this number. So today is 128 days before the election. Remember, we had the bridge collapse, which equals 128, and it happened in Baltimore at 1:28 a.m. And so look at this. What equaled 182? I was just seeing something that equaled 182. I don't know what it was. But yeah, anyways, today is the 182 day of the year, right? Which is the same code as the 128. Donut's been talking about this code. Today's the 128th day of the year, and 128 day or 182 day of the year. 128 days from now is the election. Okay. So it wouldn't surprise me if this 128 code comes up continually. There's really something to this. But yeah, I'm just wondering how that's going to play out 128 days before the election today. Because you guys remember, right? The bridge collapse. Equals 128. The Francis Scott Key Bridge collapsed at 1:28 a.m. Let's see how many days after the bridge collapses today. Sorry, guys, I'm just looking around to see what I can find. Okay, so the election is 224 days after the bridge collapse. That's interesting. But today, the French election on June 30th. Today is Cody Rhodes' birthday, by the way, the WWE Undisputed Champion. It's his birthday today. So it's 96 days today after the bridge collapse. Could be something to that. I'm just kind of see what the connection here. Oh, look at this. Wow, that's interesting. So there's 128 days left in a Venus year today. Or if you go from the bridge collapse to today, there's 128 days left before the first Venus year, right? I know that's probably confusing, but that's interesting because today is also 128 days before the election. So these new planetary counts are very interesting to look at. Anyway, let me go back to the chat for a few minutes, see what you guys are saying. I'm going to get off here in a few minutes, but thank you guys so much for sticking around as usual and leaving your comments. Yeah, Joseph says it was 128 days from the Francis Scott Key. From the bridge collapse was 128 days from Francis Scott Key's birthday and 128 days after Biden's birthday. Bones Jones says 128 is an esoteric keen code language. I'll have to look more into that. Yeah, Spirit Miracle. That's a good point. France is the Lord of Franks, and Donnie Darko is Frank. Right. I've always made this connection with the name Frank and the word Donald. I'll show you guys why. There's a reason why in Donnie Darko, the rabbit is named Frank, right? There's this connection between Frank and Donald. Because Frank and Donald are a near perfect match. Donald, 50, Frank, 50. 23, 23, 31, 31. So you're always going to see a connection between Donald and Frank. And so that's a good point. Thank you for pointing that out. Tom says Donut did a show yesterday on 128. Yeah, I saw that actually. That's why I was mentioning it. I don't think Donut needs to give. I don't think I need to give Donut a shout out, but I'm sure you guys know who that is. Yeah, thank you, Honeybee. There was a huge story. I think today or yesterday, there was a big gay parade in Toronto. Remember, I was just talking about Toronto because the WWE event coming up is in Toronto. So, yeah, I saw that though. Olympic Games equals 138. Call 911 equals 138. Mayday, Mayday, 138. Phoenix event happens every 138 years. Yeah. That 138, don't forget that number, guys. That's also a number I've been talking about. But yeah, good connections. Let's see. Honeybee says the parade is on right now. Okay, great. Right as I'm speaking, right? Ryler says both Back to the Future and Donnie Darko, the main character leaves his room in the beginning of the movie in the middle of the night. That's interesting. I'm sure those movies are very much tied together in a lot of ways. I don't know, guys. I was thinking about revealing a code, but I don't know if I'm going to have enough time. I was thinking about talking about this whole thing with Donald Trump, but I think I'm going to leave it for another decode. I'm probably going to do another video in a few days about that. So, any last words, everyone? Please hit the like buttons if you haven't already done so. If you guys want to support the channel, I know times are hard right now, but if you guys want to support the channel, I do have a Buy Me a Coffee link. I also should get a Cash App, but I still don't have anything like that. But I do have a Buy Me a Coffee link at the top if you guys want to support me. But if not, I understand times are hard right now. But that is, I'm just letting you guys know that's there. Also, thank you guys for hitting the like button. I appreciate it. But let's just do one quick recap. Guy Fawkes Day. The election is on November 5th. Lucifer equals 115. Phosphorus is Lucifer equals Venus. And again, the 115. And Venus spontaneously combusts when it hits the air, just like on Guy Fawkes Day, November 5th, there's fireworks. Lucifer, Venus, Morning Star, all connected with the number 148, 5th of November. Guy Fawkes Day, Morning Star, and planet Venus, all equal 148. Just like the election will be 148 days before Venus Day, Veneralia. Donald Trump equals Guy Fawkes Day in 3 out of 4 ciphers. And remember the 5th of November equals 176. V for Vendetta, the movie about that, equals 176. Guy Fawkes Day, 176. Donald Trump, J. Trump, all 176. The V for Vendetta is all about the Venus. Venus is all about love, which is all about the number 18. Love and Venus, 18, red, associated with hearts and love. V for Vendetta came out 18 years ago. And I'll just leave with this one. 419 days, or 19 years exactly, from Guy Fawkes to the election, and that's the 81st prime, Venus 81. All right, guys. I think I'm going to call it quits, but again, I appreciate all of you guys showing up and supporting. It means a lot to me. And I hope you guys have a good rest of your day or evening. And as always, I'll be back with another video in a few days. And also, guys, if you haven't checked out my video I put out last night, please check that out. It's about XRP and the Super Bowl 59 connection. If you guys haven't watched that, I did release that yesterday. So yeah, thank you guys so much. I'll see you guys in the next video. God bless you all. Thanks.